Well, you know what? I think I'm going to give up comedy. The singing thing seems to be working out for all these people. Good to see y'all. You folks want to be alone for a few minutes to digest what you've seen? I haven't seen this many Jews in one room since my bar mitzvah. Good to see you. You know, I have to tell you, I am waiting backstage. The shows are great. I'm enjoying what I'm hearing. And I flew in from California. I grew up in New York City, but I moved to California for show business. And I don't think I will ever get used to new technology. I walked into a joke. I flew out yesterday. I was in LAX, the airport. I'm in a bathroom. I will never get used to it, especially these people that use cell phone earpieces. Anybody use one of these? Not many people do. Some people still do. These people that use cell phone earpieces drive me crazy. They all look like they're talking to themselves. They look insane. These days, I cannot tell the difference between a businessman and a homeless schizophrenic. They both have a Bluetooth. So here's what happens to me yesterday. It's a gift from God when these things happen to me, and I can tell you. I'm standing at a urinal in a bathroom at LAX. That's where they keep urinals. Guy comes in, stands at the urinal next to me. I hear him unzip. A second later, I hear him say, "Hi, how you doing? I haven't seen you all day. I miss you." I stared straight ahead, emphasis on the word straight. You folks understand because we're all about the same age. This is a fascinating thing here. Give or take 5, 10, 30, 40 years, there's no big difference. We are the same demographic. You look good. You know what? You are rewriting the rules on aging, and I thank you for that. You're doing a great job. Me, personally, as I've gotten older, I am much more health conscious. Because I am living proof you can survive on gum and soda until the age of 25. Now I exercise, I see how important it is, I try to eat right, although I don't know what gluten is, but I think I love it. It's just that, you know what? Here's the deal. No matter how well I take care of myself, stuff still happens. Stuff still happens. This aging process is a bitch and it lasts a lifetime. No matter what you do. I mean, lately I have experienced short-term memory loss. In fact, this is the first time I can remember that happening. Lately I've experienced short-term memory loss. In fact, this is the first time I can remember that happening. This side of the room is winning big, folks. Let's go. My eyesight has changed. It's just happened. I mean, it's still 2020, but now that means I read 20 words from 20 feet away. I don't sleep as well as I used to. I used to be one of the great sleepers. Sleep is wasted on the young. It really is. I used to be one of the great sleepers. I didn't appreciate it then. That's why I like the opera, but the loud parts wake me up. I used to go to bed and wake up, is a wonderful word, refreshed. Remember that word, refreshed? That feeling. Now the only time I feel refreshed is when I click refreshed on a computer. My 18-year-old daughter can get 10 hours a night sleep, no sweat. No sweat. I get 10 hours, it just takes me 3 nights to get it. And it doesn't help that my bladder is up at 3:27 and 5:19 every morning. Now I know why they're called the wee hours. Anybody want this piano? We're not using it. Anybody want one of these? I hear it gets better though. My 91-year-old Uncle Frank doesn't wake up to urinate. Sleeps right through it. No, but it's been a tough year for me physically. I was taking care of myself. In January, I needed a hernia operation. I got the hernia from exercising. In March, I tore a bicep muscle, exercising. June, I developed a cyst on my hip bone from exercising. So obviously, staying in great shape is killing me. And then in July, sir, you all settled and you're relaxed? Good night, everybody. Then in July, I passed a kidney stone for the second time. If you've had one, you know what I'm talking about. Worst pain I've ever had. First time was 2003. Second time was 2013. So 2023 is not looking too good right now. Worst pain I've ever had in my life. And you know, people tried to make me feel good about passing a kidney stone by telling me that the pain of passing a kidney stone is just like having a baby. Not quite. Nobody cares whether father and stone are doing well. I didn't get one gift, me and little Rocky. He's semi-precious, he is, he's semi-precious. And here's the deal. 3 days after I passed my stone, I had to travel. You know, this business, show business, very demanding business, very demanding. I've worked over 40 hours this year already. I'm exhausted. Remember this, folks? I'm funny from farther away. You should be sitting back there. It really is. I mean, see, I get paid. Traveling is what I get paid for. The show is free. I realize it's only fun when I'm standing on stage talking to folks. I feel like I spend my life packing and unpacking. It's not a glamorous world. It's only fun here. I send it out to you guys. I feel like I spend my life packing and unpacking. My suitcases take a beating, and they're expensive. I had a beautiful leather bag that went through x-ray so many times, it developed a tumor. You know how much I travel? So I had to buy a brand new bag, comes with a lifetime guarantee, which means when it breaks, I have to kill myself. I'm always losing stuff, because, you know, attention deficit disorder will do that for you. I'm always losing stuff. 6 months ago, I dropped a brand new iPod down an airplane toilet. I couldn't have planned it if I wanted to. I had it in my breast pocket. I went in the bathroom, I leaned, I peed, I poded, I flushed. I went after it. It's been 6 months. You still don't want to shake this hand. Stay away from this hand. I get tired of carrying clothing. I wish I could work naked. I wish I had the balls to work naked. Then my job would be so easy, you could just point and giggle. Or applaud wildly, depending on your sightlines. Hey, one man's junk is another man's family jewels. Certainly would make it easy to get through airport security. Gotta get undressed anyway. What is this? I mean, come on, you gotta take your belts and shoes off because of some lunatic. A couple of years ago, some nitwit puts a bomb in his underwear. We're all this close to having to wear pants with butt flaps when we fly. And if security gets any more invasive, we'll have to undergo an autopsy before we board the plane, because the bladder holds more than 3 ounces of liquid. We're having fun. You should have come to the show. It's just, you know, I've got to the age where traveling's going to take a toll on me. I just had a complete physical exam. Unfortunately, it was done by airport security. I don't even know what inappropriate touching is anymore, folks. Because I am now used to strangers touching me in places I didn't even touch myself. In fact, I look forward to a good pat down. I'm away from home a lot. It's affection. And you know, TSA agents, you know what happened in LA, they have a hard job. They really do. I don't put them down for it. It's hard work. But they have no sense of humor when they're on the job. I learned that humor doesn't help. I'm always trying to be funny. Where I go, sometimes I got to realize it's not the right place. Because TSA agents are members of the Witness Protection Program. During my last pat-down, agent asked me if I was carrying anything sharp. So I say, yes, my razor-sharp wit. That led to 30 minutes in a back room. Where I found out that cavity search has very little to do with the mouth. But my prostate is fine. And traveling has affected me in a strange way. Just getting to this day, it's affected me in a strange way. I'm telling you, I don't really know how old I am. Because of all the time zones I've gone through, I've been the same age for the last 9 years, but I'm exhausted. It's helped my relationship. It's helped my relationship. I am a firm believer that separation is the foundation of a long marriage. In fact, if my wife and I never see each other again, we'll be married forever. You've seen someone show, you don't want to think anymore. Sing some of those jokes, Glenn, sing some of them. Well, you know, my wife and I, we've been married 31 years. Hey, folks, the longest marriage in the state of California. My wife, a very strong woman, her name is Sue, all capital letters. She's a powerful being. You know how they say most men marry their mothers? I married my father. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a same-sex relationship. But I've learned a lot from marriage. Marriage has made me stronger, except for one person. I'm my own man. I learned how to show affection. I didn't have my family, we didn't hug. We really didn't hug growing up. My wife showed me how to be affectionate. She gave me the book, Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus. Remember the book, folks? Years ago. So she gave it to me, I respect it, so I read it. You know, in the book, the one thing that stuck out is that a man should touch his mate at least 10 times a day. Did you guys know this? My brother didn't know. I tell it to him, you know what he says to me? Just elbowing around the way to get to the kitchen counter. I've also learned that a marriage license lowers a woman's body temperature by 15 degrees. My wife, who grew up in New York City, slept in the nude. We get married, moved to California. She now wears a flannel nightie and socks to bed. I haven't seen her feet in 15 years. And the biggest thing I learned after all these years of marriage, women get away with murder when they have a man handy, because men have a terrible reputation. And women know this, so they treat us like we're at the lower end of the evolutionary scale, like it's snail, then nail. I'll give you an example. Recently, my wife and I were at a friend's house, and for some reason, we consumed an abnormal amount of water and dried apricots. Let that sink in for a second. Lethal combination, lethal. We get on the elevator to leave. I can honestly tell you, there are these 5 people on this planet who really hate me. But I didn't do anything. My wife gets on the elevator, she passes gas, she farts. Nuclear, she went nuclear. My eyes were burning. All she had to do was turn in my direction and go, Glenn. They all blame me. Ma'am, I'm up here. Don't lose me. I'm over here. But it's my wife and my wife, like my father, is the exact opposite of my mother. Exact opposite. In one major way, maybe you'll understand. When it comes to things, my wife loves quality. My mother loves quantity. My wife is allergic to anything fake. My mother, allergic to anything real. Which makes it easy for me to buy for them at the same time. Like last Mother's Day, I bought my wife a Coach bag, and I gave my mother the shopping bag it came in. Happy, very happy. Oh, ladies, you're missing a good show. You should have come earlier. Thanks for stopping by. You here this afternoon? Can I owe you an apology? But I'm not a shopper, you know. You know, women are shoppers as a species. I'm not telling you folks anything you don't know. Ladies, you have a shopping gene we men don't have. I learned this on a cruise a few years ago that stopped in St. Thomas, which is the shopping mecca. You been to St. Thomas, folks? I truly believe that St. Thomas is the patron saint of t-shirts. It was like a 90-degree day. I'm walking back. It's a long walk back to the ship. I passed this older guy, looked beaten. He had this look like his brain had been sucked from his skull. His wife was nowhere to be seen. She was up way ahead. And he kept mumbling, "It looks good, honey, buy it. It looks good, honey, buy it. It looks good, honey, buy it." I was drawn to this guy. I said, "Sir, what happened to you today?" He told me that day. His wife, on vacation, bought diamond earrings, a diamond necklace, and a diamond bracelet. He got 2 t-shirts and a 12-pack. That they took away from him just as soon as he got back to the boat. But at this point, he's carrying all this stuff, working like a dog. I get so relate to this guy, because every time I'll be shopping with my wife, I'll be walking too slowly behind her. She will actually turn and go, "Glenn, come on, Glenn, come on, Glenn, come on, Glenn." Now I understand why they say diamonds are a girl's best friend while a man's best friend is a dog. Because I'm a retriever. And men like me, we can relate to dogs on so many levels. We fetch and carry. We respond to commands like speak, sit, stay. We get excited about a cookie. And I'll mount the leg on occasion. It's the truest statement I know. Man's best friend is a dog. I'll prove it to you. If I were to lock my wife and dog in the trunk of my car for an hour, when I open it, only one of them is going to be happy to see me. Oh, you folks are so sweet. You really are. You only got 1,400 acts behind me, so you're all in one little room back there. It's frightening to see it. Like the movie Room Service with the Marx Brothers. Remember them? 4,000 people in the room? But it is. Shopping's for women. Women, ladies, men can't shop as long as women can. When men go shopping for too long, I'm talking for every guy in the room, I'm your spokesman, sir. When men go shopping for too long, at a certain point in time, we walk into every store just looking for a chair. We see it's like a piece of heaven. I'll be in the men's section, honey, take your time. Ladies, you want to make us happy? Take us to a furniture store. If we can lie down, the day is yours. Throw in a television, we can live there. I don't even know why you take us with you. We're no help to you. We're no help. We tell you what you want to hear. We're not suicidal. I'm being honest with you. We lie to you. We lie. Now, I don't understand that cliche question that's always been asked for years. Becoming cliche. You know the question. Sweetheart, does this dress make me look fat? You will never ever hear a man say, no man in his right mind would answer that question correctly. You will never ever hear a man say, no, dress doesn't make you look fat. The chocolate and ice cream you eat makes you look fat. Stop eating everything! Okay, who's done? A few more minutes. It's 16 minutes, I gotta get off. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Shopping's for women. There'll be so many women's stores. There's fascination ladies you have with shoes. That's unbelievable to me. I'm gonna tell you, you don't know, like I said, you know, between my wife and 18-year-old daughter, you would think 30 people lived in my house with all the shoes standing around. Well, I ran a mosque. I'm convinced that my wife was granted one wish for another pair of feet. And then women's clothing is treated with so much more respect than men's clothing on the lowest level. Women's lingerie, women's underwear has its own store. We all know that store, Victoria's Secret. What a sexy store. I've been married a long time. Sometimes I go to Victoria's Secret just to reminisce. It looks good, honey, buy it. It looks good, honey, buy it. Hey, my friend was dating a store mannequin that had no head. He didn't care. But what gets me is respect for the clothing. Respect for the clothing. Women's lingerie, women's underwear hanging by size and color. It's lovely in there. Men's underwear comes 3 to a pack, wrapped in plastic, in a bin. Unless you shop at Costco, then it's 29 to a pack. And there's more respect for your clothes. Ladies, when your underwear gets old, you just throw the old pair away and you buy a brand new pair, right? You buy a brand new pair. When men's underwear gets old, it becomes a rag. They're still around the house, but not around us anymore. Just a little piece of nostalgia on the counter, in the nooks and crannies of life. My father's been dead since 1971, 71. Whenever I visit my mother, I spend time with his blue boxer shorts. That scares the hell out of me. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I never know when my underwear passes over a rag. Recently, I put on a pair. My wife told me I'd been a rag for 6 months. Who knew? I didn't wonder whether under the sink next to a wrench. I didn't put them there. So my wife, I'll leave you with this, folks, and you got some great acts still to come. And thank you very much for being so, it's a great crowd to help us to work and see if we can get down here. But my wife, very honest, straightforward director, she tells me when to change. You know, women are more, my wife, more specific. I see the overall picture, she sees specific things. But she says what's on her mind. I told you she's a tough cookie. She says what she's thinking. You never have to know. I just worked in Las Vegas at the Bellagio Hotel. She was with me at the hotel. After the show, we get on the elevator, go to our room. Elevator in the new hotel is about the size of this curtain, right? We get on, elevator gets to the next floor, doors open up, these 2 big guys get on. From what I remember, they must have been about 8 or 9 feet tall. The bigger of the 2 guys lights up a cigarette on the elevator. My wife hates smoking, hates it. but I cannot believe at this point in my life on an elevator, she points to the no smoking sign on the elevator wall and tells him to start smoking, and she offended him right away. Excuse me, can you read? I was suspended in animation like this. And I ruined another pair of underwear. She didn't care, she didn't care. She kept right on going, this is not an eye chart. Put your cigarette out. Now I hate smoking too, but I would never ever tell another human being to stop smoking in public, especially not maximum capacity man. Standing between him and his friend, I felt like I was in parentheses. I kept looking at her thinking to myself, don't do this on an elevator. Do this in a field where I can run away. Not on an elevator. It's named after him. Otis. This is his elevator. I couldn't believe she said anything. He couldn't believe it. He looked down at her and said, shut up. She looked at me. And said to me, are you going to let him talk to me like that? I had an out-of-body experience. I was floating above the street looking out, hoping my first reaction would be, shut up, lady, I'm with him. But we can't do this, guys, right? We have to be macho, protect the women folk, macho. It's another word for stupid. I heard these words coming out of my mouth into his face. I knew it was my voice, I recognized it immediately. But I knew I wasn't in control because while I'm talking to him, I'm thinking to myself, who am I trying to impress here? I already know her. Oh, this is coming out of me. Listen, pal. Don't even that kind of talk. Say a word like that again, you and I are going to have a problem. He looked down at me and said, shut up. So I looked at her and said, you let him talk to me like that?